Hello, everybody. How are you? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you, whatever you are. So today, remember that we are we are in the third eye day in the physical week of Pisces. Today our topic is the look. So to look to things, to gaze the things, would be something beyond the sight. The sight, remember, is one of the five senses. And as a sense is the tool that we use to receive the pulses from the outside, to interpret them within in our neurological system, in our brain. So we could interpret the environment we are moving in, we are moving through, and to gaze, to observe, to look goes a little bit deeper. It's much more related to the soul than with the perception of the things, the observation of the things. Look is a word that represents that something that is bright, something that is shining. So this word, to look, comes from the Indo-European language, which is leuk. That means light, bright, shiny. That's why it's the same origin of the word light. Light and look has the same origin. So to look is to put light on something. To look is to make something bright, to make something shine. I was explaining that in Spanish, the word for look is mirada, and mirada it's originated in the word smie in the Indo-European language, which is the origin also for the word smile. So smie means smile, and smile comes from smie in Indo-European language, and which is like kind of a reflection of something that you are watching, that you are seeing. So to see is only yourself staring at something and watching something, is unidirectional. But to mirar, it's a reflection. To look is to receive the light of something. So the word that in Spanish you say mirar is the origin of the word in English mirror. Mirror is to look at, okay? And it represents the smile that you can see from yourself in others. So this is why the word to look is much more related to the soul than the physical aspect by itself. So by looking at something, we can look at by closing our eyes, denying the reality outside, or we can open our eyes to feel that reality outside, to be aware of it. So that would be the way in which we can experience the look. When we say that to look at, to stare, to gaze something is related to the soul, we also say that it's very deep, very profound. And sometimes, because of this duality, that we don't want to look outside is because we are scared to see really with our eyes how deep we can go through these organs. And the reason is because through the thousands of years of evolution, the eyes had become one of the best designs in our body. And why is that? Because the eyes are basically the best extension of our brain. The eyes are the only ones that can not only perceive the realities that are outside, but also to show to the outside the reality that you have within, the reality that you have in your brain, the real you. So the eyes has been one of the best evolved organs of our body, because we have been evolving through thousands of years trying to survive in our environment. So our brain basically is trying to help us to survive, something that we already said many times. So the body is to the brain is trying to see where are the dangers outside, so it tries to protect itself all the time. So because of this protection that the body is looking for, the eyes has been designed to detect all the dangers around. So it sees everywhere what could happen and what can kill me. And one of the most important things that we have is to detect the eyes of the enemies, detect who is going to attack us because of the eyes. So remember that we spoke once about the pareidolia effect in our brain, that the brain is looking for familiar images everywhere in nature, in all things. So one of the main things that the brain is trying to look for are things with eyes, with a face, but mainly eyes. So the brain is trying to detect in everywhere the eyes of something. Why? Because the eyes are pointing towards a direction, and to where those eyes point, the rest of the body goes. So this means that what we are trying to do in our nature is try to escape from the hunters, from the beings that can kill us and eat us. So that's why our eyes are designed to look into the enemy's eyes. That's why the brain is trying to look by pareidolia all these eyes in nature, so it can see if they are staring and looking into us to attack us. This makes that the sight is developed like a tool of defense. So the eyes are trying to defend ourselves from the weakness that we have within. So this story of the evolution of the eye trying to defend us from the weakness within is the reason why more than the 90% of the humans usually don't look straight to the eyes when they speak to someone. And this is not psychological, this is biological. Our eyes needs to rest for a while. Every time that we speak, for a fraction of time, our eyes look into another part of our face when we speak with someone. They go to the nose, they go to the lips, they go to the ears. They go everywhere, and they go back to the eyes and then go back to the nose and so on, because the eyes gives so much information constantly, all the time, that the body, your brain, needs to interpret so many data when it sees straight to the eyes, that that it needs to rest. It wastes so much energy trying to understand what the sight, what the look is trying to say, that you lose energy in your physical, in your emotional, and your mental, trying to solve that look. So the reason why this the sight, the look is so deep and takes so much energy is because the eyes has been designed as the most perfect extension of the brain. And because if it is the most perfect extension of the brain, it's not only processing information from the outside in the brain, but also the brain is communicating that information, that data outside straight away. It's really easy to communicate with your eyes. No need of words. So this is kind of the origin of the telepathy. The telepathy is basically this communication with your eyes with another person, because it's basically the neurons reflecting in the neurons of the other, sending signals through the sight, through looking at. So now when you receive data, it's okay because you are storing data and experiences to move in the environment. But when you share that information, when the brain is sending the signals out, it kind of loses the ability to defend, because it's showing its weakness. It's showing the truth that is inside. Okay, so that's why people is scared of this staring at, because the eyes are the ones that are showing all the things that you have within. So you can be weak for the world in that moment. You feel out of all defense. And this is why we call the eyes like the windows of the soul, because the soul is basically all this network of database going through the nervous system. They are the mirrors of the soul, because through the eyes I can express everything that I feel. So remember that from the point of view of survival, to show what I feel makes me weak. The reason why some people can stare at the eyes and watch straight to the eyes is because those people doesn't have any problem with sharing exactly what happens within themselves, and because these people are not in the need of survival. These people doesn't care about showing what they have within, so they can look straight into the eyes and waste all the energy in that side, because they don't need to earn energy and save energy for survival. This is why also we can relate some this action of staring straight to the eyes and not moving the side with the crazy ones, because the crazy ones, they don't have the fear of losing the control. They don't care. So They just stare, not being afraid of losing the power. Nothing to lose. So some people might say that, no, I look straight to the eyes when we speak. But most of you for sure don't realize that for tiny fractions of seconds, you just change your point of view into another point of the face. So your eyes can rest for a tiny moment, for a fraction of time, rest the energy of watching into the eyes. The reason why this happens is because the eyes shares straight so much information from the brain that the other brain that is watching, staring, cannot process all that information. Usually when a person is not looking straight to the eyes when they speak to someone, it's because the body is trying to protect themselves, because you don't want the other one to know your weakness, your vulnerability. You don't want to be attacked, basically. So another way in which the evolution took the looking, staring at someone is through reproduction. Because when we, in the same way as the birds, for example, has the feathers with different colors. Some animals prepare themselves to be much more shiny and very easy to be seen by the other sex, the other gender. We humans have the sight. We humans have the iris of the eyes. So the way in which we look at, the way in which we stare at someone is something that through thousands of years have been working in humans in the same way as for the birds work the feathers. Okay, so like this peacock has these beautiful eyes in the tail with all these feathers, we humans have our two eyes. So that's why in the time of reproduction, staring at the eyes can tell us also about the intention of reproduction with that person. That's why the pupils, the iris, contract or expand according to showing us if we are open to receive that person or we are close to that person. So all these things shows us that the look that we take into others, onto others, is a straight communication with our brain, directly with our brain. So the staring at, to look at someone straight into the eyes, is something that helps us to be much more connected in the network with others, to share the information with others as being one. And remember that the concept of to look is related to the idea of the mirror, the light on a mirror. So this means that everything that my eyes are looking at is just a reflection of myself. That when I look straight to the eyes of someone, that someone will show me exactly what I have within. So what is activated by looking at? The telepathy. Telepathy, remember, pathos, telepathy. That means pain and suffering. We have seen that, pain and suffering. So tele means distance, means beyond, farther. So telepathy is related to suffer in distance. And to suffer in distance means that when you stare at the eyes of someone, your neurons create a synapses with the mind of the other one. So from far away, you can feel what the other one is feeling, as if you were one. So what you see in the eyes of the other one is what you have within. It's a reflection also of yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't see it. So, so this is why everything basically is a communication with yourself. To practice the staring at, the looking at the eyes of someone, help us to be much more open to tell what we feel, to share what we have within, and help us to be much more telepathic, help us to have a better communication between ourselves, to communicate better with our own self and with the others, as if we are one. We can practice that just looking at the mirror to ourselves, or by staring to someone that we love, or just staring at someone that we don't know. And we can start to practice the communication in silence. So that's how we create synapses through telepathy. One of the things that we need, of why we need to practice this, is because usually we are afraid to share what we have within. So to stare at someone and to practice by staring to yourself helps for a better communication and telepathy. So some people once asked me, why in this planet we don't have telepathy? Why we cannot communicate with other people like in other planets they do? Well, the reason is because in order to have telepathy, you shouldn't have fear to set and to show who you really are. And usually we are afraid to share who we are because we are scared about the judgment of others when they see what do we have within. So usually people judge what we share. The just as an example of how it is the judgment of what we see, what we stare at, is that, for example, the other day I put a picture that I liked. The composition of the picture was beautiful, but it was just a frame of what was really happening. There was some people, but around were a lot of people, so I had to be up so they can hear me better. And they were everyone. There were camels, police, tourists. It was terrible, normal context. And I was playing something, anything, I don't know. And I saw the rays of lights and so on. So this picture was taken by Tia, and I loved the picture. I loved the composition of the picture. And suddenly when I put the picture, the judgment came by the image saying, you look like Jesus, or your ego is showing up, believing that you are Jesus, like kind of like this. Everyone started to talk about that. And I was like, if I would really worry about these things, I don't do that. But imagine that people that receive kind of these comments, they suddenly stop sharing because they are scared of telling their truth, of sharing what they want, because of the judgment of others. Imagine now to sharing an emotion. How would that be? In another concept, for example, talking about emotions, something that happened to me also, when I write the post, I usually share everything that happens to me. Like, I don't care. I share every emotion. I share many of the things that I have. So so I don't care. I do that because I would love to encourage the people to do the same. And I really thank to all these people that write in the post and blogs, to write in the post what they feel, what they share, what they have experienced, and I really thank that, because that's the point. But there are some other comments that they want to teach or to give advices, like you should do this or you should do that, or blah 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 blah. And those comments are mainly through the judgment of my process. And I was just sharing my process. I was not asking for help. And imagine I am a Leo. I'm Leo, so I don't really care of what people say. I have enough ego to survive. But imagine the people that are not able to have the ego to stand, and they can crack and fall apart because of the judgments or these kind of things. So when you ask yourself, why in this planet we don't have telepathy? Well, basically it's because we are still judging each other all the time. The only way in which we can help really other person is when other person was open to receive help. The only reason why we can judge other person is because that person was open to be judged. This is why it's very important to always do the questions to yourself in the first person. We can share visions, but we have to learn to identify when a vision can become a judgment towards the outside. Because it's exactly this judgment by the violation of the private space that makes people to close, makes people not to be able to look into the eyes of the others, and not to be able to communicate by the look, by gazing, communicating as one. Let's go to the information for today. I'm speaking very low because today I've been laughing a lot. and also singing a lot for 4 days in a row. And I don't have much voice, so I'm not sad. I'm tired. The vibration for today is Ta. The statement for today is I am manifested conscience. The code for today is Cancer. The last process related to the physical body is the one that happens when this constellation is in the highest. Related to water, Cancer is the family process. This means the moment to bring in what was changed, learned, harvest, and won the safety of our own, wrapped in the arms of the protector that guards out its own eggs, its own products, its family. This way, it's related with emotions, with the bond to home that reincarnates the mother, the close ones, the blood connections. Sorry, I can't find things. I'm just sleepy. Sit comfortable, close your eyes, and concentrate in your breathing. Take a deep breath and start to caress and massage softly your feet coming up through the body, along the legs, the genitals, the hips, the back, the belly, chest, hands, arms, shoulders, neck, face, and head. Breathe. I breathe and recognize with my fingers my face, the eyes, my ears, softly. I do a massage in circles on the ears, the eyes, the cheeks, the eyebrows, descending through the nose. Going up, caressing the forehead and massaging it, open the third eye towards the ears. And in front of me, I observe my own eyes watching me. I observe my eyes straight until I can perceive behind the consciousness that lies within. Observe your eyes. I recognize that the eyes in me represents the dreamer, the day, the light, and the eyes in front of me represents the dream, the projection, the shadow, the night. I pay attention now to the pupil, the iris, the cornea, the entire eye, and the nerves that connect both eyes to the center of my brain. Where I can find this beautiful pearl, the pineal gland shining with the light I perceive from the outside, irradiating from within. I take a deep breath and expand this gland, recognizing it as the manifestation of my consciousness. A consciousness that I achieve by the depth of my look. I observe my eyes and I resound, irradiating this consciousness. I am the manifested conscience. I am the manifested conscience. I am manifested conscience. I believe, for I am. I bring this consciousness all around my body by stretching, yawning, caressing. Remember that this month, before we go to sleep, we manifest the intention of saying, I am love. Thank you everybody for being here. See you tomorrow at the same time.